Hey, baby. This is Ro. Welcome to the back of the classroom. Before we get started, go ahead and hit the like button and show your attendance for the day, and let's get started. Today, we're going to talk about Chapter 6, 48 Laws of Power, Court Attention at All Costs. Now, after reading the book twice, I understand it a little bit more. And I would recommend if you read a book, read it, write some notes down, and then give it maybe 6 months to a year, and then read it again. You learn so much more based on the information you got the first time, and then you live life, and then you go back to read the same book again. Some things you might have missed, some things you thought you understood, or better yet, you got some real life experience so you can relate to it. And then it makes it all the more valuable to read it again, to pick up on the things you thought you understood but didn't understand. And of course, there's no way for you not to know you didn't understand it until you read it again and you go, oh, I missed that. So it's a self-realization thing for me. Um, so courting attention at all costs, right? And one of the points it makes is appearance is most important. What's unseen counts for nothing. So much of that, so much about that can be said. So just to reel it in, if you are, let's say, a great singer and you can sing like the best, if nobody hears it, what does it mean? Only you know it. If nobody else knows it, it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't mean anything. Just you, right? And we can generalize it. Basketball, sports in general. Let's look at sports in general. If it was just a competition and exercise, sure, it would be something no one has to see. But sports is something that people can look at, enjoy. Even before TV was popular, you had I believe, a broadcaster who would watch it and tell you what's happening, and people would huddle around the radio and listen to it because the person speaking on the actually sport events is relaying that information. So it had to be seen first and relayed to somebody else for entertainment value. TVs became popular. Everybody wanted to watch it because it is something worth seeing. It's either something you can't do or you want to do, or something that you're just fascinated by and it draws you in, right? Sometimes it could be so exciting you buy tickets to sit in the arena so you can watch it happen and enjoy it yourself, right? You don't want to hear what somebody else says, or you don't want to watch it on TV. You need to be there in action, right? And that's part of being seen. That's part of the attention. You don't get good at something and just want to do it for the sake of doing it. Most things are meant to be shared, right? Maybe not all the details and intricacies of things, but the success, right? I might not want to tell you exactly how I made a new laptop. It's faster, it's quicker, it's this, and that. I might not want to tell you the internal parts, but I still might want to show it off to you. Look what I did. I did this, and this. It's the fastest laptop out there. I can do X, Y, and Z. No issues, no lag. You can stream videos and listen to music at the same time, and you record videos and do whatever you like, and it will never buffer. Might be something I have to show people because seeing is believing. And then when you see it, and you're like, oh wow, this is nice. And then let's say I wanted to sell it. I didn't tell anybody how it worked because I didn't want the competitors to get into it and market it and do better at marketing than I can, because marketing is also visual, being seen. Without being seen means nothing, right? So if they get more visual optics on their product before I can get my product out and make sure as many people can see it and hear about it as possible, I lose. And once I get it out there and everybody sees it, great. Same thing with sports. If I get good at sports, I can get it to the NBA. The NBA just means I have people who will watch me, who will pay to watch me, and then I'll get money to help provide for my family and to create a life that I would prefer. Then I get endorsements because people are looking at me, and an endorsement means, hey, if I'm wearing something of your brand, it's visually helping your brand, visualization, attention. How else we gonna look at it? Advertisements, that's attention. Social media, YouTube, this platform, it's attention. How I ask y'all guys share it with everybody. Just because the message might not be for you today, it could be for somebody else. And if it's not for you today, it might be for you tomorrow. We don't know what life throws at us. So to this podcast today might not mean much to you. And then tomorrow you wake up and you find out you're out of place and certain things didn't work out the way you wanted it to, and nobody knew all the hard work you did. And you be like, yo, Ro was just talking about that. Attention. I need people to see what I do. Right? And when people see what you do, as long as you're good at what you're doing, or even if you're learning, don't need to lie about it. Just let people see what you can do. Right? And they talk about publicity, right? No such thing as bad publicity. And that makes sense to me now. Because imagine if somebody says something negative about you. You can deny it. Of course, it's just words. They said it, you're saying it, who are they to believe? But we all know what? Actions speak louder than words. So we're not even going to argue. We're just going to show up. And we're going to make it happen. Oh, they said you can't do this, 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 and this. My shift starts at 8. You can watch. Oh, okay. Now everybody's drawing in because they want to see if you can actually do what the other person says you couldn't. So now people are watching. You don't have to talk. You don't have to argue with nobody. Showing up and doing it is way better than talking. I'm not even one for long word conversations. I don't be trying to impress nobody through my words. I'm going to show you better than I can tell you. I've always said that. Why? Because what's the point of me having a long conversation with you and you're going to have doubt in your mind because somebody else already told you something else. The message they gave you was a seed implanted in your brain that I was allowed to cultivate before you even came to me. So I can show you and share that information with you, and it will totally uproot whatever you had implanted in your brain, which will allow room for what I showed you to take root. And that's what we need to do, because seeing is believing. So get as many people to see what you do. Let people talk. Let people say what they want to say. That's only going to bring people around you to look at you and see if you are what they say you are. And that's okay, because as long as you're genuine, you're not attention seeking, just looking for attention to do nothing, you'll be fine. If you know you do what you can do, people will show up and see it. Let's say I wasn't that good at something and somebody told me about, oh, he's not this good, and people came to look. I would hope and I would look for it while I'm doing something and I can't figure it out. Hey, do anybody know how to do this? That might be a tutor for me. That might be the reason why I get better at it. So just because you said something about me don't necessarily mean it's going to hurt me, especially if I'm genuine, especially if I'm not just seeking attention just for the sake of seeking attention. There is a method and a reason why you want people to look. And there's nothing to be ashamed and embarrassed about, because you shouldn't be ashamed and embarrassed about anything. I mean, all through growing up, you could look at these Greek statues, right? Most of them is sitting on top of their manhood. So guess what? You step outside and people look at you, okay. You see them Greek statues? No one's laughing at them. It's a work of art. So be happy the way that you are and don't be ashamed of anything. There is nothing to feel a way about. If you get attention, you get attention. If you don't, you don't. I think the worst thing you could do is be ignored. Right? How many people have something to say and they're not heard? Right? I go around people and I listen and I let them talk. And I realize everybody has something to say. Everybody, there is something at one point or another they wanted to say nobody listened to. And if you dig deep and you listen enough, it'll come out. And then people start to feel better about themselves. So you're giving somebody attention without realizing they're in your company. So you're also getting attention. And then the more people you allow to open up to you, the more people that looks to you as a resource or a source of comfort, which you become, you're now getting attention. So regardless of whatever avenue you're going down, regardless of what it is you want to do, you want to be genuine. You want to be different. Be spontaneous. Don't be something of a repetitive thing because at one point people get tired of you, right? So you got to change it up, right? Listen to music, look at basketball, look at football, look at all these different sports. It changes, right? And there's more things added, some things taken away, and it creates a different air to the sport because, of course, the more you change the dynamics, the different the difficulties, people are looking to see how one can adapt. And adaptation is excellent because one, you can't get stuck in one route, and as long as you're good at what you do, you have the mental capacity to absorb the information and teach your body how to work around it and work with it, and you adapt obstacles, you're great. No issue will ever hold you back. So don't look at change as a bad thing, right? Only complacent people are going to get mad at change because they don't want to switch it up. They found the niche, they found the groove, they're good with it. Be open to change and then let people see that. Everything about what you do, allow people to see, right? Oh, we got this. All right, let's figure it out. Let's figure it out together. More people see you, they'll understand. Oh, wow. If you have an issue with something, you can let it be known. If you master something, you can let that be known. But whatever it is that you do, it'll be seen. But don't do too much. You don't want to have a level of arrogance, right? You don't want to you don't want to do anything deceitful, right? And keep things in a moderate tempo, right? You speak too highly of yourself, people think you're arrogant. You speak too lowly of yourself, oh, don't doubt yourself. Be who you are, be genuine. Because even if you're questioned, or let's say you was quote unquote backed into a corner and you had to explain yourself, you could because you're genuine. You don't have to make things up, right? And sometimes you can say less just so that you're not too sure which way things are gonna go. And you once you perform, figured it out. I thank everybody for showing up, and I appreciate everybody for being here. We've come to this realization together, and then people will feel like they were part of it. And then people go around talking about it. Oh, you got to see what I saw today, and then that brings more people in, right? So the better of a name you have, and the more attention you can bring yourself. But it gotta start off with something, right? Whether it be a little air of mystery, whether it be your success, whether it be your ability to adapt. There's more than one way to bring attention and to keep attention. But the idea is to always make sure you're genuine. Keep yourself adapting, right? Be spontaneous. Switch it up because you don't want to become stale and old. You want to look for new things, even if it's just to challenge yourself. Find things to challenge yourself if the world doesn't provide things for you. Add something more. Take something away. If something seems to be too old, you've been doing certain things for a while, get rid of it. Bring something new. Bring another challenge onto the plate. Look and see what everyone else is doing and see how you can improve. Right? If you're a boxer and you're knocking people and people are going 10 rounds, see if you can finish it in 9. I remember they was talking about Mike Tyson, and if you went past the 3rd round, he was gassed. He was out of gas. He couldn't do it. But that opened the door for people to want to challenge him and think, all right, I get my stamina up and I just got to not get knocked out in the first 3 rounds, and I got him. And unfortunately, he knocked you out in the first, but because he had a reputation and you wanted to be seen and he had that ability, you showed up, he showed up. And of course, that was bad publicity for Mike, maybe, but that wasn't bad publicity because as long as people wanted to fight him, it drew people in and people wanted to watch and see what happened. And he was knocking him out. So even in that situation, no such thing as bad publicity. He was highly paid. He was good. And regardless of what they said, all he had to do was show up and show out. And that could be said for everyone else. Doctor, if you're a great doctor, guess what? People can say, oh, he's the best doctor on the East Coast. He's the best doctor on the West Coast. All he has to do is show up and do what he does. As long as he's good at what he's doing, he's genuine about it, and he knows he accepts the procedures he know he can do, he's trained for, he's studied for, he's done multiple times, and of course, different surgeries, they all have their risk, right? They all have different levels of success rates, and That's something you have to consider personally. But when someone is renowned as the best doctor, there's a reason for that, right? His success rates might be higher. He might take a little bit more time and attention and care, but he honed in on his craft to perfect what he does. And he takes pride in it. Same thing can be done for anybody. If you could be the best baker, you could be the best chef, you could be the best cleaner, you could be the best whatever it is you want to do. Just make sure you're seen, make sure people are talking about it. We have social media, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Talk about it, brag about it. You have friends, let them share it. Get more eyes put on what it is that you do and see what comes out of it. Because 9 times out of 10, what can happen? More people see what you do. Even if you're shy because you're not too sure what people will think or like. But when you actually show people things and they're like, oh, this is nice. You're like, oh, wow. And you can't be afraid to fail. I don't know if that's a part of being shy, but I'm okay with it. If I make a mistake, okay, cool. I learn from it. I do better next time. What what's the downside to that? People point and laugh. Okay. People point and laugh and then they share it. What? Okay. Either my success will make me go to another level, or people will criticize and make fun of it, which still in turn gets more eyes on me and I get seen and I elevate to a new level. What's the downside? Do I really care what people think and feel? Sure. But will I let it deter me from doing the things that I want to do? No. Because I'm going to be consistent, I'll be genuine, and I'll keep producing something that's organic, something that's not repetitive or something that we've seen somewhere else to the point where it gets boring, stale, and I don't want to see that. I've seen this all the time before. It's a little different, and you can attest to that by watching it, checking it out. So if you made it this far on the podcast, I thank you. Rails Locker, check it out. Everybody who supports the platform, every purchase helps this platform grow. I thank you for making it this far. I'll let you later. Bye.